Before I begin, I'd like to say that there will be no more wizardry at all, ever. And I will not be in front of the camera again. I'm just going to be doing reviews on the games that I play. The only reason I did that was because Wizard was driving me insane, and I had to have an outlet of some kind. Or who knows, you might not be alive today. So let's begin. Clock Tower is considered to be one of the first survival horror games. It was released back on the Super Nintendo in 1995. It was also released on the WonderSwan, the Windows 95 PC, and was later remade into a PlayStation game. Only the title for the PlayStation game was called The First Fear. It has since had two sequels, Clock Tower 2 on the PS1 and Clock Tower 3 on the PlayStation 2. The Super Famicom version was the only one not released in the United States, along with the WonderSwan version. So even though some people have played the PlayStation remake, they have never played the game as it was originally intended to be played. Just when you think it's going to start out really dreadful, all of a sudden you hear the happy birds. The game is very atmospheric, and most of the music is chilling to try to send you a sense of terror, because you cannot attack anyone in this entire game. You are a 14 to 16-year-old girl who has just been adopted along with 3 of her friends. After a while, everyone gets tired of waiting for their new mommy, so you decide to investigate. However, the dreadful music picks up, so you know something is about to happen. Oh my god, what happened? Where is everyone? The gameplay so far has been very straightforward. You click to the left to make your character move left, you click to the right to make her walk right. And whenever the arrow becomes a box, you can interact with the person or the object on the screen. As you can see, just clicking on the square meant you could actually interact with the object, and we got a car key. At the very beginning of the game, if you walk all the way to the left until you get to this screen, you can beat the game immediately. You can leave all your friends behind like the coward you are and worry only about your own survival. Or you can go back and try to figure out what's going on and try to save your friends. As you can tell, Clock Tower is an adventure game. You find items and have them interact with other objects on the screen. However, there is much more to it than that. To demonstrate the adventuring, here is a typical room. You notice the wall to be odd, so you just push the boxes out of the way. Then you grab a metal pipe that was conveniently laying in the corner, and you bash the wall in to find the secret room. Most of the game isn't necessarily a puzzle, so it is figuring out what to click and what items will work where. The great thing about this game is how it scares you. It's so silent that anything can come up and freak you out. Along the way, you will find a homicidal maniac named Bobby with a giant pair of scissors who will always chase after you. Once you run into him, you encounter panic mode. You will notice you are in panic mode once there is a red box around Jennifer's head down in the corner. Once you enter panic mode, you run immediately. There is no walking. In panic mode, new things become selectable so that you can try to evade or trick Bobby, such as this board right here. But if you get close to Bobby, you occasionally are able to tap the B button repeatedly and force his scissors over him and then run away. However, sometimes you can't do this at all, and he immediately stakes you in the heart. This never gets rid of Bobby, this only delays him, and you rarely want to do this. However, because you're running all the time, you have the potential to trip and have Bobby kill you. You can look for signs that you've been alerted and can possibly go into panic mode by looking for yellow or orange around your face. Also look for your reactions, such as the shock of what you've just seen. If you look here, you're just looking at a cat, but sometimes you'll see a box, inspect it, and boom, out pops Bobby. There are two Bobbies in the game, the one that is predetermined, such as the one that comes out of the bathroom or out of the box, but there's also one Bobby on the level at any given time wandering around, so you always have the potential to accidentally wander into him. Also, Bobby is not always in the same place every time you go outside of screens. Sometimes he can be in front of you, even though he was just chasing you in the previous screen. One interesting gameplay mechanic is that what you don't see doesn't happen. For instance, your friend Anne will die 3 times in the game. If you look out the window when you hear a sound, you will see this. However, if you don't do that and you walk by the swimming pool first, you will see her drowned. So what you want to do is remember where everybody dies and try to avoid all instances where somebody will die. However, one of your 2 friends has to die in the beginning, so you have to choose who you want to die based on where you've seen everybody before. This was a really strange mechanic, but I kinda liked it. Well, that's all you need to know to win the game. So, you just want to run around searching for your friends and find out what you should be doing. Should you answer the phone that keeps ringing? Should you trust Miss Mary, even though she doesn't seem to act like she knows what's going on? What can you feed a cannibal so he won't eat you? What is the giant thing lurking behind the curtain? And just what is your father doing here? Are you the spawn of Satan? One of the great things about this game are the multiple endings. There are actually 10 different endings, A through H, and the secret S ending. Some of the endings depend on what you've already seen in the house, and whether or not Anne or Laura are alive, and where you see Lottie die, because she will die in 2 places, and she has to die. She is the only one that can't be saved. The only thing that bugged me about this game was going up the stairs. You could go to the kitchen, cook yourself an omelet, and come back by the time she walks up these things. The other good thing about this game is the realism. There are no complicated puzzles. Everything is realistic and ground-based, such as hiding under the bed from Bobby, but doing something else in the room to make sure his mind is distracted and doesn't think to look under the bed. Eventually, if you can figure everything out, your journey will lead you to the clock tower, where you'll have your final showdown with Bobby, and with somebody else.